Funding for this special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Investors Bank, the Russell Berry Foundation, Johnson & Johnson, New Jersey Sharing Network, dedicated to saving lives through organ and tissue donation, and by Kessler Foundation, changing the lives of people with disabilities.
This is One-on-One.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
People like laughing at others, so I don't mind if the other is me.
See, you go right into the character. That's what it is.
I'm bringing families together a half an hour each week. Man, I'm doing something special.
And so I do feel successful.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato here at the 3rd Annual Montclair Film Festival. You hear banging going on because construction is going on here at the Claridge Theater. There are terrific films happening all across the community, 90-plus films in total in the film festival. We're right here today. We're about to see a film. We talked to some folks who are coming in to see a film called No, a documentary, a film about a fascinating guy. His name is Doc Ellis, pitched in the 1970s for the Pittsburgh Pirates, pitched a no-hitter. On June 12th, 1970, a lot of people have pitched no-hitters in baseball. But Doc Ellis was the only one who said he pitched that game, a no-hitter, while he was high on LSD. A fascinating guy, fought racism, was a civil rights leader. He was known as the Muhammad Ali of baseball. This story will blow you away. This film is fascinating. We talked to some folks who came in to see this film. Why did they come to see it? Some people that you'll meet brought their children who were not around in the 1970s, had no idea who Doc Ellis really was. They were baseball fans. There were people who were interested in civil rights, wanted to really understand who was this guy and why is he so important. Then we also talked a little later to Jeffrey Radice, who is in fact the director of No, a documentary, part of the Montclair Film Festival, one of the many great films that you're going to want to know about here at the Claridge Theater. I'm Steve Adubato, part of the public broadcasting team. We're partners with a great team at the Montclair Film Festival. Folks are about to come in to the Claridge Theater, and Gerard is about to come in and see No, a documentary, a film about Doc Ellis, who is one of the most fascinating baseball players in history. Why No?
Well, because as I stated, my girlfriend's daughter worked on the movie, and I'm a big baseball fan, and of course to see a no-hitter and the documentary of a no-hitter that I don't know much of the history of is something I'd like to see.
What about this film festival? What do you like about it?
Well, I like the fact that it's in New Jersey, it's local, and that it's got quite a bit of movies to show, a nice variety. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, you wouldn't get a chance to see a film on Doc Ellis anywhere else, right?
No, sir, I wouldn't. That's right. That's what makes it so interesting.
Listen, enjoy the film.
Okay, a pleasure meeting you.
Steve Adubato here. We're here at the Montclair Film Festival, the Claridge Theater. We're here with two guys who have come to see a terrific film called No, a documentary, a film about which baseball player?
Doc Ellis.
Doc Ellis. Now, this guy knows, by the way, your first name is?
Scott.
Scott, and this guy is over here?
Eric.
Eric, and you have a baseball hat for the Pittsburgh Pirates because who is this film all about?
It's all about Doc Ellis, pitcher for the Pirates in the mid-'70s. And it's mostly because he's famous because of his no-hitter that he pitched, but there was a lot more to the guy. He's a real prominent kind of activist in the Black Power movement, and we're interested in learning more about him.
Guys, let me ask you, what brings you to see this film about Doc Ellis?
Well, I grew up in the 70s, and I was a huge baseball fan in the 70s, and then, just knowing Doc Ellis through the years, being a baseball fan, that's why I'm here.
Big film buff?
Oh, yeah. I'm an editor. I edit documentaries.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's this film, what has the Montclair Film Festival done for those like you who really know art and film?
Well, I think it's a great thing. It's close to New York City. It's a different thing. The smaller films get a little more exposure. It's a really, really nice thing that they're doing out here. It's great.
Talk about this film and talk about this festival.
I live in Montclair, so it's been great. I'm going to a few of the shows and the events, and it's been great. I've been going for a couple of years now, so it's definitely been an excellent run thing, and it's been great for the town.
What else have you seen so far this year?
Nothing yet. I'm seeing 2 today, 1 tomorrow.
Oh, what else today other than Doc Ellis?
We're seeing
the E-Team tonight.
Whoa, what's the E-Team?
The E-Team. That's a good friend of mine, Ross Kaufman. He directed, and it's about human rights watch workers that went to Syria and all over the world, and just sort of what they're into, you know, what they see, and it's kind of a horrific tale.
You know, think about how eclectic this film festival, I can get that word out, how diverse this film festival is. You got the Doc Ellis film, and we're also here at the Claridge Theater in Montclair. You've got a film about Whitey Bulger, a guy that was indicted for 19 murders, who was on the lam for 16 years in the federal government. That's the other film going on today, right? You can't see two films at the same time. And then you got this other film that you're talking about that's totally different. I mean, it really is amazing. What do you think it says about a film festival that can put together 90-plus films like that with such diversity?
It's been great. They've done 30 more films, I think, this year, and twice the amount of ticket sales coming into it, from what I heard. From 7,000 to 14,000, I heard this year. So it's been a great mix, a great diversity, and it's working, definitely. They need more venues, I think. That's what they really need to get more films.
We don't want to hold you up to go see the No film about Doc Ellis. Appreciate your time, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
These are our friends, Nate and Doug Bauer. These are our baseball friends. Doug is one of the head coaches in the baseball league here in town, and Nate's one of the best players here in town. You are here to see, Doug?
The Doc Ellis documentary.
Now, you are way too young, Nate, to know who Doc is, but you're curious about it, right? Because?
Well, I know who he is.
Because Nate is, of course, a baseball historian. What do you know about this guy?
He pitched a no-hitter for the Pittsburgh Pirates under drugs. So.
He knows too much. And by the way, that's the way he is on a baseball field. He knows everything going on. If I could, Doug, let me ask you. We talked to some of the film goers. We also talked about to the director who put the film together. Because you're a big Phillies fan, we can tell from your hat, not a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Why this film for you? Because I know you're big into the film festival. Why this film?
Well, first of all, I was born in Pittsburgh, and I have roots there. So I actually rooted for the Pirates first. So when growing up in the 70s, that was my team. And of course, Doc Ellis is a big part of it.
What about Doc is interesting to you?
It's quite a story. I mean, it's not just what Nate just mentioned, but it's obviously part of the whole African-American experience during the civil rights, et cetera, and he was obviously someone who was very involved with that from a sports perspective. People like him and Dick Allen on the Phillies and others who were really working with those issues. So that's why I'm interested.
And let me ask you this. For a town like Montclair, I mean, you're one of the biggest supporters of this town, big into philanthropy, the library, and other activities. Why is something like the film festival so important for our town of Montclair?
You know, first of all, I think it's amazing that a town of our size can sustain and support something like this. I think it's really
90-plus films.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's a unique aspect of our community, and just another extension of why we all love to live in Montclair.
Nate, let me ask you. You're going to see this film. It's all about Doc Ellis, right? Have you seen any of the other films yet?
No, not yet.
Tomorrow, though.
Tomorrow I'm going to see.
What's tomorrow? Wait a minute. Hold on. This guy has a baseball game tomorrow, and you're going to see a film? Which one?
Dinosaur 13.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the dinosaur movie.
You are a film buff, aren't you? You love it.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, it just shows that kids in this town not only love baseball and sports, but they also love film. And that's one of the reasons why we love the film festival here in Montclair, because it promotes film, it teaches about film, and it provides opportunities for people to go see. So I don't want to hold up Doug and Nate because they are film lovers. Enjoy, guys. Thank you.
Putting curlers in my hair, you know, that was hip and slick. I was throwing spitballs. I had a perm, so all I had to do was go to the back of my neck, and I had a handful of water, sweat. I remember one time sweat coming off the ball, and the umpire at third baseman called time and said he'd throwing a spitball. The home plate umpire told the third base umpire, get back to third base. You don't know what you're talking about. He throws a natural sinker.
He came out one day with curlers in his hair, and it you know, everybody was shocked.
I was sitting in a dugout with Danny Murtaugh, the manager, and he says to me, hey, is this your body there? And I looked at him and thought, oh my God, it says Doc. I look again, yes, it was Doc, the red and blue and yellow curlers on his head.
Hi, Steve Adubato here at the Montclair Film Festival, the third annual Montclair Film Festival. We are talking to directors, cinematographers, actors, all sorts of terrific people connected to this film festival, and I'm here at the Claridge with Jeffrey Radice, who is the director of No, a documentary, a film about Doc Ellis. Now, I remember growing up watching Doc Ellis as a pitcher, and I'm thinking, all right, he's a pitcher, he's an interesting guy, pitched a no-hitter, little quirky, but warrants a film, right? Come on over here and talk about it. Who was this guy?
Doc, Doc he's a real fascinating character. Most people, if they know of Doc, they've heard of this LSD story where his no-hitter.
I heard about the LSD. He pitched the LSD, he pitched the no-hitter on?
He claimed to be tripping on LSD when he threw the no-hitter in 1970 for the Pirates. And so that was kind of what brought me into the story. But Doc is this really well-rounded character who, wore hair curlers on the baseball field, conflicted with management. He hit batters. We just passed the 40th anniversary of...
On purpose?
Yeah, May 1st, in 1974, he hit the first 3 Reds that he faced, tried to hit the next guy who ducked out of the way, and so Doc was controversial. But the thing that I think most people don't realize about him is that he had some issues with drugs and alcohol and kind of bottomed out. After his career was over, he went back to school and he became a drug counselor, and he worked with the California Youth Authority as a counselor, helping people deal with their own addictions. And he's a real honest individual, so he talked openly about what he had gone through, his own personal hell.
How much did you talk about the racism that he experienced in baseball?
Doc talked about it quite a bit. He, 1971 All-Star game, Vita Blue had 19 wins or something crazy.
By the way, Vita Blue was a pitcher for the Oakland A's. I mean, a tremendous pitcher. And he experienced what?
So Vita Blue was a shoo-in to be the starting pitcher for the American League. And Doc was having a good season in the National League, but he didn't think that they were going to, as he said, have a brother face a brother in the All-Star game. So he kind of pushed a couple of buttons, used the media, a little reverse psychology.
But they were the 2 best pitchers.
Arguably, Steve Carlton or Tom Seaver was better that year. But, Doc, he just pushed the buttons. He received a letter from Jackie Robinson that he held very dearly that we cover in the film. And, Doc was just, he pushed the limits of kind of racial awareness within baseball. He was out there in front challenging the establishment, and a lot of the older players weren't doing that. Doc was.
What was the reaction? Because some people, I've heard that Doc Ellis was referred to as the Muhammad Ali of baseball. What kind of reaction did he get from most of the other players, black and white, to the things that he was saying, to the civil rights positions he was taking in baseball, which let's remember, folks, it wasn't until the late 1940s that the color line was broken, and then it took a long time for a lot of blacks to play in baseball on most teams.
Doc, he was on the Pittsburgh Pirates of the 1970s, and they had Roberto Clemente as one of their leaders, and his teammates loved him. The thing that they said, and it comes out in the film, is that a guy like Doc Ellis in the clubhouse keeps the team loose. And having a loose team in the clubhouse translates into better on-field performance. So they liked having him around. He was kind of a clown, but he had some substance to him. And so, the other players absolutely loved him.
It's interesting because you talk about someone who's a baseball player and you say, okay, well, at this Montclair Film Festival, there are 90-plus films, and with Bob Feinberg and the other folks, Bob the chairman, and the terrific people behind it, they want to try to have films for everyone. Someone says, okay, wait a minute, I'm not into baseball. I'm not into Doc Ellis. But this film is for everyone. It's not just for people who are into baseball.
Absolutely. I mean, the story that I tried to tell is a portrait of a human being. I think ultimately he was heroic, but he was a flawed individual, and so I tried to make a movie that baseball fans would love and non-fans would equally love, that would be accessible and help people understand a little bit more about the psychology of pitching, but also it's basically an addiction story.
What about the recovery?
Yeah, the recovery is tremendously important to Doc's story. His kind of going through hell and coming back and transforming himself and kind of self-actualizing and becoming a greater person at the end of his life.
And for so many athletes, it's even harder. It's harder for anyone to be so open and honest about their addiction, about the challenges, about the demons they face. But I would imagine for a sports figure, idolized in so many ways by so many, put up on a pedestal. It's got to be even more difficult. For Doc Ellis to be so open about his vulnerabilities, about his addiction, that had to be really difficult.
I think so. You know, he was a fairly open and honest individual throughout his life. But, you know, he talked about the Greenies era of baseball where all...
Amphetamines.
Yeah, these guys... He said 90%. We've got Scipio Spinks, who was a former pitcher, said 95% of the ball players in that era, 60s, 70s, were taking amphetamines.
So this is the pre-performance enhancing drug period of time. There's a whole different drug-related issue, right?
Yeah, these guys were taking... There are anecdotes about how there were jars full of Greenies in the clubhouse. Now, I don't know that was actually true, but... You know, Doc talked about taking 15 to 17 pills before a game to lock in, and then...
To lock? What does that mean?
To lock in, just, you know, to kind of get himself prepared to go out there and pitch. And what happened was that he got to a point where he couldn't pitch without the substance because he didn't know... He went out there once and he tried, and his catcher, Manny Sanguian, said, "Doc, you need your medicine." You know, he didn't... He got to a certain point where his muscle memory relied on being able to throw with the amphetamines in his system, and so he didn't know how to pitch without it. And I think that happens to some players. It happened to some players, you know, in various eras of baseball.
Let me ask you this as a filmmaker. By the way, we're talking with Jeffrey Radice, who is the director of No No, a documentary, a story about Doc Ellis, an incredible story. Doc pitched a no-hitter on June 12th, 1970. Doc alleges that he was high on LSD at the time, only one of many stories in this amazing film. Let me ask you, Jeffrey, finally, what do you say about the Montclair Film Festival and what it has done for filmmakers and those of us who love film?
I think the Montclair Film Festival is doing a tremendous job. I'm really happy to be here. Both of my parents were born in New Jersey, so I've got some connections to New Jersey, and you know, looking forward to having a good audience to attend the film today.
People who say you have to go across the river to find great art, you say?
Come to Montclair.
Steve Adubato, we're here at the Montclair Film Festival, the third annual Montclair Film Festival. We're here with Toby and Libby, mother and daughter. First time volunteering. That is why you were wearing these official yellow Montclair Film Festival volunteer t-shirts. How exciting has this been for you?
It's been a lot of fun. It really has, especially since it's our first time. We're considering coming back next year.
Describe what pulled you into this in the first place. I know there's some family connection.
Yeah, my sister is working for the festival, and she told us about it, and so she asked us if we wanted to volunteer, and we said sure.
It's interesting. A film festival like this happens with a lot of sponsorship. You need the money. You need great films, 90-plus films, but you also need a group of volunteers, largely from the community of Montclair, who come together and do all sorts of things. Talk about the role that you've played, some specific things you've been involved in.
Well, we handed out programs to people in line. We directed them where to go, and it's been really cool. I've never done anything like it before, so it's been an exciting experience for me.
Some of the films that you've actually been a part of. Now, today we're at the Claridge. The Whitey Bulger film is about to play in just a little bit, and the other film is No No, right?
No, yeah. It looks interesting. It's a documentary.
Yes, about Doc Ellis. It's going to be very interesting. Very eclectic films. Now, you get to be exposed to a lot of film, too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but we haven't seen any yet, so.
That's what happens when you volunteer, right? But what has been the most interesting thing for you so far? I'm sure the people are a big part of it.
Yeah, probably seeing all the different people who see the films. It's really interesting to see what type of people see which film.
Let me ask you, for you, bringing your daughter into this, I'm sure you didn't force her to do it, but you encouraged her to do it. What does it do for a family? What does it do for a mother and daughter to come together and be a part of such a great cultural community event like the Montclair Film Festival?
Well, this activity in particular, it's given us some time to spend together and to help out. And we've read a little bit about the films, and it's been interesting to see her reactions to what some of the film subjects have been. And I think she's kind of interested in seeing some of them. So it just helps me learn a little bit more about my daughter, too.
The other part of it's so interesting to me. You see a community come together. You see the town of Montclair come together. What do you think it's done, this film festival? What do you think it's done for our community?
Well, I think it's energized the community. We've seen a lot of people here, particularly last night when the 4 films that we volunteered for were really full. Everybody was really excited. People who didn't know necessarily what was going on came through and asked questions, and you saw them go up to the box office and see what's available. So I think
There's a buzz.
There's a buzz. There's a buzz, and the banners outside help to create that too, and it's really energizing.
It's great for the community, and it's also great for young people to be introduced to film and a film festival like this, right?
Yeah, I think that it's really interesting to see young people's views on these films too. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you on behalf of everyone who is involved in the film festival. For those of us at the Caucus Educational Corporation and part of the family of public broadcasting with WNET and our partners at NJTV, we at One on One and Life and Living with my colleague, co-anchor Joanna Gagos, we've been covering these films and covering the story behind the Montclair Film Festival, and so we're honored to be just affiliated with volunteers like the two of you, and thank you for everything you do.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
I'm here with Ben Rosenfield, who I'm sure you recognize as Willie from HBO's Boardwalk Empire. Needs no introduction. First of all, what brings you here to the Montclair Film Festival tonight?
Well, I'm from Montclair, and some friends of mine who are involved in the festival asked if I would come talk, so I said yes, of course.
Well, you came to talk, but not only that, you came because you are one of Montclair's homegrown. You are a Montclair resident who has made it. How does that feel when people tell you you've made it?
Oh, I don't know what they're talking about, but it's nice to, I don't know. I like acting, so I'm happy that I'm doing that.
Are you being modest, or do you not actually know that you're a big deal?
Oh, I don't think I'm a very big deal, but
But you are.
I guess so. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not being modest, but it's great to have people acknowledge any kind of success I had. It obviously makes me feel good.
Well, you're a young actor, and you've been in a few films, but really Boardwalk Empire was your breakout role. You play Willie Thompson. You're the son of Eli Thompson, the nephew of Nucky Thompson. What is it like taking on this role with larger than life actors around you?
I mean, it's been like the greatest opportunity of my life. I don't know what else to say about it. Ultimately, it's just everyone is so giving and incredibly talented, and I'm just learning a lot from everyone. So.
Tell us how that casting went. How did you get selected for the role?
I went in for casting and then the producers a couple of times, and it was an interesting thing. I don't know, like I was having a tough time getting cast as a tough guy or whatever, and I guess Willie's kind of tough, so I really wanted that, so I worked really hard at this sort of the note that I had gotten, which is it needs to be a little rougher, and so I don't know, felt like something I really needed to do, so it was very gratifying when I got the part.
As an actor, do you find that you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone to hit those marks, to be something that you're really innately not?
No, I mean, I think I have to push myself always, but it all comes from place inside of me, I don't think that Willie Thompson's very different than I am, but at the same time, I am Willie Thompson. So I don't, the circumstances are everything really for the character. So yeah, you definitely have to push yourself, and you always want to create a character, but it's always there within you.
You've got to tap into something that's already there. What is it like working with Steve Buscemi and with Shea Whigham?
Well, it's incredible. They're some of the best actors alive, and they have a very, I think, sort of different approach to acting, which is really, it's awesome to get to see sort of people's different styles, the way they approach a scene. So just, again, learning a lot.
You had a big part of last year's Boardwalk Empire. I imagine this season, big things for you. You're in production. What can you tell us?
Man, well, it will hopefully be big. I don't really know, but I can tell you that people will probably die, as they always do.
People do always die, and I think he knows more than he's letting on. But you're good. You're good. You won't let us into anything. You won't let us in on anything. Tonight, a lot of questions for you about what does it take to be successful. What advice would you give to other young actors? What would you say to someone who's young like you who wants to break into the acting world?
Well, I got asked that question tonight, and I guess I'll just say the same thing, which is find a really good acting class with a good group of people who are interested in creating together and create your own work. Put on a play or make a movie with your friends. Those are the most important things you can be doing, and the rest will come if it comes. But work hard, and those are 2 good things to start doing.
Is that what you did? Did you create your own work? Did you do things so that you would just be acting and be seen?
Yeah, I mean, I write. I'm interested in directing. It was never about like being seen in anything. It's just that's what I like to do. I like to create stuff. So.
You played the role of Tim Buckley in the film Greetings from Tim Buckley. That's another big character. He was an incredible man, and in his time, groundbreaking. What did you learn about him through that role?
I learned that he broke his hand playing football in high school, so he couldn't play bar chords. I don't know. He's just an interesting person to walk in his shoes for a while. He was someone, that whole generation really in a lot of ways was sort of, I don't know, he's a very freewheeling guy and very much connected to his impulses and letting sort of his journey take its course and not like super intense about trying to make it anything beyond like, I want to make music, so follow that path. So I learned those things.
And you're also in a musical coming up with Anne Hathaway called Our Song. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's called Song 1. Yeah, it's all good. It's a film, first feature for a wonderful director, Katie Barker Foyland, and it's really about Anne and this guy Johnny Flynn, and who's a musician that I like, and it all sort of centers around this accident that happens that lands me in a coma, and how music can change your life.
So music for you just as important as acting?
I mean, they're important in different ways. I write music as well, but I kind of just do that for me, not for money or anything like that. I don't know how much, I don't know. I'm recording an album now, but I don't know. Just creating everything, like music, painting, poem, whatever. Just, I like to make stuff.
Just be creative. Well, you keep being creative because we're going to keep watching. Ben Rosenfield, thank you so much.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence, and the Montclair Film Festival, 13 for WNET, and NJTV. Funding for this special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Investors Bank, the Russell Berry Foundation, Johnson & Johnson, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by Kessler Foundation. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger, powering NJ.com. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.